Hello all, welcome back. So in this session, I would like to tell you how to deploy your mean stack application to the cloud. Means we have developed our Node.js and an Angular apps, right? So we will, in this video, we will deploy our Node.js application to render, and also we will deploy our Angular app into Firebase. Okay. So we will go one by one. So first, we will uh, deploy our backend code. Okay, so before that I will show you how we can clone the GitHub repo. Okay, and then I will upload that to a Git repository, and then we will deploy the code. Okay, I will show you step by step. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to open the Git repo where you are having the e-commerce website. Okay, so in this case, if you go here, so in my uh, in my Git profile, you can see this e-commerce backend. So I hope you have already downloaded this backend code. If not, you can download from here. Okay, so we told you, right, how we can download the GitHub repo. So in the workshop session, so in the same way you can download from here, or else you can also go with from using this URL. Also you can clone the repository, but as we want to redeploy this code into your repositories, into your GitHubs, right? So because of that we are downloading the zip. Okay, so click on this download zip button, so it will download the repository to your local PC. So once that is done, okay, so open that. So in my case this is opened here, and just unzip that one. Okay, so click on extract, so it will open the repository here. So open that file, and then what you have to do is you have to initialize the git here. Okay, so for doing that you have to click on this git bash, right click, go to the folder, and then click on this open git bash here. Okay, so this will open the git bash in this folder. Okay, or else you can also directly do git bash here, and you can click here and you can route to the path cd space slash downloads this path. Okay, so you can also do go in that way. So for our convenience I have opened here. So what we have to do is we have to deploy this application to cloud, right? So before that we have to deploy this application to our GitHub. Okay, so from GitHub we will link our website to the cloud. Okay, so for that what we have to do is first we have to initialize the git. Okay, so what we have done, we have downloaded the code from our GitHub, from my Git repository, and now what you are doing, you are deploying this, uploading this code to your Git repository, right? So for that what you have to do is first step, click on git init. Next you have to add, git space add space dot. So I hope you have these steps already. So in the workshop session I had given you this material, so the same steps I will follow. So first we will do git initialize, it will initialize the git repository, then you can click on git add. So before that we have to add the origin. Okay, to which remote repository we have to push this code, we have to upload this code, we have to create that repository, right? So for that what we have to do is go to your website, go to your GitHub, sorry, and here click on this GitHub logo, so it will land in this page, and then you have to click on this new button. Okay, so this will create a new repository. Okay, so I'm creating a repository name called e-commerce backend test. So see here, see if the project name is available, so it will say here, or else if I remove that one, it is saying repository already available, means I have already having an repository with the same name, so I'm giving a different name. Okay, if you want any description you can give a description here. Okay, and if you want this report to be public, you have to click no need to change anything, or if you want this code to be private, only accessible to you, then you have to click here private. Okay, don't do any of the changes here, just click on this create repository. Okay, So it will create a repository for you, name e-commerce backend test, right? So then go down, so it will directly give you the instructions how you have to do. Okay, so before, now we have done this one, right? Add init. Next we have created git space add space dot. Instead of readme we have clicked on add or dot, right? So what it is saying, the next command, so we can directly go to this, we can trigger this command, or else you can also commit the changes. So what we will do is, first we will go with this command, or else you can also follow the same structure as well. Okay, so I'm triggering this command. Okay, git remote at origin, paste. So git remote add origin, this is my origin name, github.com/pavananand. In your case you will be, if your name is something like test, so here github.com/test/ e-commerce hyphen backend dot test. Okay, so don't give my the exact same URL, because this is my repository. So you have to upload this code to your repository, so you have to give the same URL that is having here. Okay, or else directly copy this command, it is having your repository itself. Okay, so now click enter. So it will add the origin, so means we are telling the git we have to push the code to the specific remote repository. Okay, so we have added the origin as well. Now git commit hyphen m, so say your commit message, anything, first message, or I'm telling us first commit. Okay, so this is a standard commit. If your commit is the first commit, then it will say git commit hyphen m first commit. Okay, so now what it is saying, please tell me who you are. So I hope if you are running your git repos, if you have installed the git for the first time, okay, so you will appear this one. I hope in the workshop also we had this issue. So this is my new laptop, so that's why I just before this recording I have installed the git repository, so that you will also I will also get this flow, right? So whoever are installing this github for the first time, so you will able to see this one. So what you have to do is just copy this one. Okay, and paste here. So inside that email I have to type, you have to type your email address, your git email. So here you will be logging in with one email, right? So you have to give that email here. Okay, so in my case this is my email, and closing the double quotes. So git config hyphen global user dot email, and the email. Careful guys, you have to give the correct email, or else you can't able to push the code. Okay, in the same way you have to give the name as well. Okay, so I'm copying the code and I'm pasting, and I'm changing the name. So in my case my git repo name is pavananand ch. You can also find the name here as well in the in your URLs. Okay, pavananand ch. So I'm giving that, pasting here. Oops. pavananand ch. Okay, so now again try commit. So it will only ask for the first time. Okay, for another repo also it won't ask, only after an installation it will ask. Okay, so now I'm committing the change. So I have committed my first change. Okay, so now what I have to do is, I have to here it will say main. Okay, so ideally, so we use there will be only one main branch. Okay, for any repository, for any project. Okay, so in some projects we call that as master. In recent times, so GitHub has changed that master to main, so it is asking us to keep the name as main, but it's our choice. We can keep the default branch as main or else master. So in our case, so we use the, even git bash will take the default branch as master only, so we will go with that. So now what we have to do is git push origin master. Okay, so this code will be pushing to this repository now with this command. Okay, okay, for the first time, so if you are also getting the same thing, so just click on sign in with your browser. Okay, so just it will validate uh, your GitHub, that's it. Okay, so you are a correct person or not, just an authentication part. Just add your credentials and just log in. Okay, so once that is authenticated, so here your code will be pushed. See, So here if you see return object 100%, so you will able to see this message. So if you are giving some if you are getting any authentication error or anything kind of thing, so you have to again reconfig this email. Means you have given a wrong email ID. Okay, in that way you have to do, or else you are still you are able to having some issues. Means just delete this .git file. Okay, so if you are not able to see this .git file, means click on this view button and click on this hidden files. This should be checked, or else you won't see. If that is unchecked, .git won't be visible. So here view, and here you have to check this hidden items, then only you can able to see this .git file folder. Okay, clear? Yeah. So next we have successfully pushed our code. So now check the repository. Okay, so just reload this page, so you can able to see the code here. Yeah, so if you see 2 minutes ago we have pushed our code, right? So in this way we have to push the code to GitHub. Now what we have to do is we have to deploy this code to cloud, right? For that, for deploying our node, this is a Node.js project, right? So if you remember, we have created this 4 APIs: get, put, post, delete with products, right? So now we are deploying this code to cloud. So for that, what we have to do is we have to go to render.com. So this is a website which will provide us free hosting for our Node.js applications. Okay, so first click on this sign in, and then sign in with any of your account. So in my case I was signing with my Google account. So if it is saying I don't have an account, means you have to sign with any account you have. Let me try. Okay, if you are not able to having any your credentials, then you can click on sign up. Okay, so click here and create your account. So create your email and give any password here. Okay, so any password you need, and click on this create account. So it will create an account for you. Okay, so in my case what I will do is I will log in with my email. Okay, so I have logged in with my email address as of now. Okay, so once you have created your window, you can able to see the similar UI for you as well. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to click on this new button, then click on this web services, because I have to deploy our backend, right? So here it will ask deploy an existing image from a registry, or else build and deploy from Git repository. So we have already deployed our application, our code to GitHub, right? So we can select this one and click on next. So now it will ask connect a repository. So click on connect repository, connect to GitHub. So it will connect the GitHub for you. Okay, so here it will ask in some pieces it will ask for authentication. If you are already authenticated, then it will directly connect your email ID with the GitHub. Okay, so now different GitHub with a different ID. Ideally in your case you won't get this message. Okay, so let me log in with my actual account. Just a second. Yep. So this is my account. I have already having a uh, render account which is associated with this Git repository. So I have to log into that account. Previously it is logged into my main account which don't have any repos. Okay, so if you see I have logged in with my another email. So now if you see already I have two services running. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to click on this new button. So you will able to see this overview page once you have created your account. So click on this new and website. So it will ask build and deploy, and you have to, as we are deploying from GitHub, select this option and click on next. So it will connect the repositories for you. Okay, if you see here, I already have one uh, repo that was connected. So what I have to do is, we have to connect our repository here. Okay, just so here, not here, sorry. So this is where we already having, we have connected our repositories. So click, go to this public git repository, and here you have to type your git remote URL. So where you can find here, go to your GitHub repository and copy this URL. Okay, this is the address of this repository. Okay, so copy this one and paste here. Oops. And click on continue. So it will connect this repository, this render website will connect to this repository. So give the same name so that you will get some idea, understanding purpose. So it will take the, by default it will take this repository name. If you want to change, you can change, but as of now I will keep the name as is. And from which branch you have to take. So if you are, if your branch name is main, so you have to keep main, or else if there is any for now we have master branch, right? So keep that as is. And the root directory, just don't keep anything. So don't change any of these okay commands. And here just check if the start command is node space main.js or not. Okay, this is important. So this is also done means, then you have to select the free tier here. Okay, so as this is not for a commercial use, just for a learning purpose, right? So we will go with this free tier. So select this free tier and click web services. Okay, so what it will do is, it will create the website for us. Okay, web service for us. So once you are clicking on that one, so what it will do is, it will get the code, and it will build the code here, and it will run the code here. So this is basically, it is giving one server for us. Okay, so where we are running our application. So build is succeeded. Now it will run the app here. So how we are running the application local in the same way, so this will automatically run the application. Okay, so now it is deploying. Actually this will fail because we are not added any env variables. We have to add the env variables. I will show you how to add. So first we will see what it will be happening here. Okay, whether it is running or not. So it is saying application running on port undefined. Okay, and connected to MongoDB. So if you remember, we have added these logs. Okay, but ideally it should run on a port, but it is saying undefined. Means we have to add this, we have to specify a port number here. Okay, in the env variables. Okay, so here, before that, we have to know what is the name we have given. Okay, so for that variable, so for that what we have to do is open the code in VS Code, this GitHub code. Okay, the backend code we have to open in Visual Studio, and we have to see what is the variable name that we are using for port. Okay, so go to this main.js, and here if you see, so we are giving that name as port itself. Okay, so now process.env.port means, here we have to, the variable environment variable name is port itself only. Okay, so we have to give that port in this env variables. Click on this env variables in the side menu, and here give port and specify the port as of now. So we will take the port as 3000 and click on save changes. So it will save the changes for us. Okay, Now what we have to do is go up and click on this restart service. Okay, or else you can click on deploy latest commit as well, but as of now we will do just a restart because we have added an environment variable, right? So we have to click on this restart service. Okay, deployment error. Okay, it seems like after we have added the env variable, so this deployment is again started. Okay, if you see the time, it is again started the deployment after adding the environmental variable. So means we don't need to restart the service, it is again auto restarting. Okay, so let's check the logs in the meanwhile. So if you see here, so the application is running now on port 3000. So to check whether this is working or not, so this is the url. If you see, go, if you are scrolling this top, so you will see one url. So this is actually our cloud url. Okay, so let's see if we are getting the output or not for this. Okay, so we can also check if there is any errors here, so it will show here while rendering this code. So let's see what are the commands. So here if you see, we have, ideally we should get this response, get API trigger. Okay, so for the first time actually it will take 2 to 3 minutes of time to load. So from then it will work fine, but after if you come, as we are using a free tier, so there are some limitations for us. So this will take 2 to 3 minutes to load your application. Okay, yeah, so we will wait and we will see the output. So if you see, so we are getting the output, right? So in the same way, if you trigger products, I guess the endpoint name is yes. Okay, so this is as of now. So we have these details available, and this is how. Now, if you see, this is working from any. This is a public URL, so no need to run the code locally. So with this URL, you can able to directly uh, trigger this APIs anywhere. You can use this APIs anywhere. Okay, and another thing, so whenever you are doing any changes here, so let us say I just here if you see, this is my URI. Okay, I just want this URI to be added from directly from the we have to change, right? So if you run this code, so you will also get the same, I mean if you want to deploy anything, so you those data will goes to my URL, right, to my database, right? Instead we need this to be dynamic, right? So we will do that change and we will see how this is automatically triggering. Okay, so now in the same way how we configure the port, we will also configure this database URL as well. Okay, so instead of that, so what we will do is, so you will say URI. My environmental variable main name is URI. So I'm just removing this, just copying this entire thing, removing this one. Instead of directly appending the URI here, I'm just I'm expecting that from a environment variable. Okay, so now uh, I have to first deploy this change. Okay, so we can, how, what is the command to deploy deploy these changes, as you all know. So here open the command prompt here. Okay, the shortcut is control tilt, and then select this git bash here from click on this drop down, and you have to select git bash. If that is PowerShell, some commands won't work. Okay, so now it's the commands to push the code is, first we have to add the file, then we have to commit the change, dynamic mongo URI. So any name you can give, and git push origin master. So now it will push the code directly to the master. Okay, so once this is done, so here if you reload this GitHub code, so you will see that we have done the change in main.js, right? So you will see that commit ID here. Okay, the timeline as well. So now go to our code, and here if you see, so in this jobs you can able to see if the, click on cancel. So you will see, uh, once we have done the commit, okay, so here the commit will be automatically triggered. Okay, so after some certain time, so here you can see the same similar message like this one, deployment started, and you will see the commit message here. So whatever the commit we have typed. Okay, so in the meanwhile, what we will do is we will add the environment variable. So for that, what we need to do is click on this, as we already added the port. Okay, so in the same way, click on this add environment button, and the name of our mongo URI is URI, right? So here we have given the name as URI, right? The same name should be given here. Okay, so and the value should be given here. I have copied that one, now I am pasting here. So save changes, so it will take the URI from here. Okay, so whatever the value, in this case you have to give your database URI. Okay, here if you don't know how to get this one, so you have to go to your MongoDB. Okay, so sign in with your account. So here click on this databases. Okay, select your database here. So if you have multiple, so here my database name is e-commerce, so select that project first. So then click on this database, then click on this connect. Okay, so open this compass here. So here if you see, this is your mongo URL. The password you know already, right? So I told you like you have to keep test and test 1 2 3 here, right? So that will be your passwords. But if you forget your username password means, you can able to add them here. In the side menu, go to this database access, and you have to add your new database user, test and test 1 2 3, and select this built-in, add built-in role, and select atlas admin and add user. So instead of using the old one, you can also use this password, test and test. Okay, so in that way you can able to get your URI. So now I have added, right? So we will check whether the job is triggered or not. Okay, so if you see here, this is our commit. So this is already deployed. Okay, so after we this will automatically fetch the commit from the GitHub, and it will directly trigger the build. Okay, so now we will check the logs. Okay, if you see here, it is already it's 12:48. So the old log is at 12:46, but it seems like this is already running the code. So let's check again. So click on this command in this URL, not command. So we'll get the output. Okay, so now check the products. Okay, so now here if you see, if your MongoDB URL is connected successfully, instead of this one, you will see your logs here, your data here, the data that is present in your database. You can able to see the data here. Okay, and also the second part, you will be able to, so and also you will able to see the MongoDB connected or not with this message. So if you are getting some authentication error kind of issue, so there will be two possible cases. First one, so you are giving a wrong username and password, and the second one is, in this network access, this should be always 00. So if this is not the, if you are getting some IP address here, means you have to click on this edit button and click on not a, you will see some option called from anywhere you can able to access. So select that option. So then you will able to see this 00 means we are allowing our database to be running from any IP. Okay, then click on confirm. So once you have done that change, so after 5 minutes you have to rerun your application. So rerunning this deployment means just click on this restart service. So those who have the issues with database, okay, so then it will work. Okay, so this is how we are deploying our backend, right? Yeah, so next, so we will go with the front end. Okay, so in the same way how we have done the backend, so go to the repository, and in this repository search for e-commerce. So you will see e-commerce. Okay, so this is an Angular app, you can see the description as well. Okay, so e-commerce backend is our Node.js application, and e-commerce is our front-end application. So this is also the same steps. So first we have to download the code. Okay, so once it is downloaded, so we have to open the code. We have to unzip this one. Okay, so once it is unzipped, we have to open this folder. So before that, I will close the git bash and also this VS code as well. So now what you have to do is you have to open the git bash, right? The same steps. So first we have to step one, so git init, we have to initialize the git. Then we have to, if you see, after we are giving initialize, so it is creating this .git file. So now git space add space dot. Okay, then we have to add the remote URL. Before that, we have to deploy our code, right? So how we can deploy means, first we have to create the repository. So go to click on this logo button, GitHub logo, and click on this new button, and you can directly give e-commerce, whatever the name you want. You can directly give the name e-commerce front end here in my case. So if you want any description, you can give. Okay, so no need to change anything, just click on this create repository. And one more thing guys, just for front-end deployments, we no need to deploy this to GitHub. Okay, the deployment process for front-end is different. Okay, so we don't need to deploy, it is no mandatory to deploy this to GitHub. Just for understanding, I am showing you second time. Okay, so git commit hyphen m. Oh, sorry. Before the commit, we have to git remote, add the remote, right? Origin master. So you can also see the command here, git remote add or origin, this one. So I had given origin master, so that's a wrong command. So just paste this one, git remote add origin, the repository URL. So now git commit hyphen name first commit git push origin master. Okay. So this is how you're pushing your GitHub Angular project to the GitHub. So process is same for any project to deploy, whether it is Python or Java or anything. Okay. So for deploying your code to GitHub is very simple. Uploading, not a deployment. Just uploading your code to Git repository is easy. The same steps. So now, so what we need to do is we have deployed our uh, Node.js project already, right? So now we have to deploy our front-end project. Before that, so we have to open this open this one in VS Code. You can directly open from here, or else you can go to CMD, click on code space dot. So it will open the VS Code. Okay, so this is the mandatory way. Open the command prompt and click on code space dot. So it will open the VS Code with this folder. Okay, so here what you have to do is control tilt. So there we have not. So previously, so in Node project we haven't run, right, but here, so we will run the project first. Npm run. Before running the project, the first step is we have to install. Npm run install. So it will install all the dependencies. So why it is saying npm run install? Okay, so just, sorry, npm install. No need to type run. So run means, so it will search in this package.json start script. So here we don't have install as a command, right? So we have start, build, watch and test only. So that's why it thrown missing script. Okay, so ideally install is a default command of npm itself. Okay, so we don't need to give run. Run means it will, the npm will directly search in this script only. Okay, so once this npm install is done, so it will what this npm install will do, so it will create this node modules folder, and it will deploy all the dependencies available, no, all the node modules that should be uh, needed by this project. Okay, so it will check this package.json file and it will deploy, it will install all these dependencies. Okay, so while this is running, so we will do one more thing. So we will create our Firebase accounts. Okay, I will show you how to create a Firebase account. Okay, so first type in the Google Firebase console. So it will open this Firebase console. Okay, so click on this one, the first link, console.firebase.google.com. So it will directly log in with your email. Okay, so if the email is different, just log in with the correct email. Okay, if you don't have an account, you can directly sign up with Google itself. So you will see one large dashboard. So if you don't have any projects here, if you see here, I have some multiple couple of projects already available. Okay, so if you the next thing what you have to do is you have to we have to deploy our Angular application using Firebase, right? So for that we have to create a project first. So here type your project name. So our this e-commerce, right? E-commerce. So e-commerce 4FB42 is available. If you have some specifications like hyphen test, or you can give your name, so that is also fine. E-commerce hyphen pound is already is available. Okay, so if the name is not available, so it will randomly generate one name and it will give for us. So for now I will give test. So continue and click enable Google Analytics for this project and click on continue. So here select this default account for Firebase and click on create project. Okay, so it will first create a project for us. Okay, so in the meanwhile we will check this one, so whether the npm install is done. So here the npm install is done successfully. Okay, so if you yeah, so while this project is getting created, so here this npm install is done successfully. So now what we have to do is we have to create the dist file. Okay, so as I said previously, so so we are bundling this entire project into these components into one single html file and all these ts files into one js file. So for that the command is npm run build. Okay, so this will take few minutes of time, so from 2 to 5 minutes of time based on your pc, it will vary. Yeah. So once this npm run build is done successfully, you can able to see one dist folder here. Okay, so after this sr, before this sr, you will see the dist folder. Okay, so if you got any suggestions, like if you are clicking on this npm run build, so for some guys, if you have latest angular versions, so you will see a what we can say, some options like whether you need some auto suggestion feature or not. So for that just click n and enter. Okay, so we don't need an auto completion suggestion. So yeah, so once you have clicked, so it will take 2 to 3 minutes and it will directly trigger this ng build command. Okay, so if you see browser application bundle generation completed, means if you see here, so we got the dist folder. Inside that, if you see, there is an e-commerce frontend folder and you see one html file and you will see a couple of js files. So means all the components will be bundled in bootstrapped as index.html, one html, so single page app, there will be only one html page, and all the ts files that will be converted to js because browsers only understand js using javascript engine, js engine, right? Yeah. So once this build is done, so what you have to do is this will automatically give us the command prompt, but still if you see here, it is asking it is waiting to get the command prompt. So but no need to wait. So just what I will do is I will directly create one more command prompt here, as we already got this dist folder, right? So now we have to go to this Firebase. Okay, and we got this project created, right? So we have to click on this continue button. So this will create a project with our name, right? E-commerce hyphen test, which we have specified, and click on this build button, and here you can see a couple of services that Firebase is providing. In that we need this hosting service because we have to host our angular front-end app, right? So click on this get started, and after clicking hosting, and it will give couple of commands. Okay, so just copy this command and here type. Okay, so before go doing Firebase hyphen tools, you have to specify at the rate enter, and because Firebase won't allow specific versions. Okay, we are using Node.js 14, right? 14 or 16, I guess. So for that, there are some limitations. Okay, so by default it will give the latest version, but which won't supported by Node 16. So for that, Firebase tools npm, go to this file and go to this Firebase tools npm command. sorry, npm url, and go to this versions, and you have to install the, not the latest one, version 12. If you see here, we have to install 12.9.1. Okay, so install this version. So at that 12.9.1, yeah, click enter. So it will install the exact version for us. Okay, so yeah, so Firebase tools is installed in my PC globally. So I'm using the -g command. If you see, so it will install globally in this PC. So after that we have to check, so what is the next command. Okay, so click on next. So it will ask for login, Firebase login. So click Firebase login here, execute the same command here, Firebase login, enter. So what it will do is, it will open, it will pop up a login authentication in the default browser. Okay, so once you clicking on Firebase login, so you can able to get this one. So allow Firebase to collect an error report. So you can click either of the thing. So as of now I'm clicking yes. So it will open the pop-up. Click allow if you are getting any access related pop-ups, and then you have to give the Firebase account. So my Firebase account is different, so I have to relog in to that account again. So click on continue. So, and here also click on allow. So now you have successfully authorized to use. Uh, okay, so here you have successfully authorized and you have logged into with your Firebase account. Okay, so now see the next step. So we have done Firebase login, and the next one is Firebase init. So give that one, Firebase in. So it will ask, it will, are you ready to proceed? Click yes, and it will ask for the which service we have to use. So here with the upside up and down arrows you have to navigate, and you have to navigate to this hosting files on Firebase, optional setup, GitHub action deployment, web deploys. Okay, so use this one only, don't use this GitHub actions. Okay, we are using a different approach, okay, to deploy. So move your arrow to this hosting. So once this is highlighted, and click space, so you will see a star here, means you have selecting this. Okay, if you want multiple you can directly select those as well using space, but as of now we need to, we need only this service. So once you have click on space, so it is selected, then click enter. So it will ask, please select an option. So whether we have to create a new project or you have to use an existing project. So I'm clicking, we already created a project right here. So this is our project. So I'm clicking use exist project, so it will list out all the existing projects here. Okay, so if you see here, these are all my existing projects, and e-commerce hyphen test is my project name, right? So select that, click enter. So it will ask, what do you want to use as a public directory. So by default it will be public, but our directory name is this dist slash e-commerce hyphen frontend. So we have to specify that dist slash e-commerce erc hyphen front end. So check the spelling twice guys, so this should be the same, and click enter. So now it will ask configure a single page app, and click yes. So set up builds and deployments with GitHub. Click no. So we don't need. So this uh, message should come. Okay, if you are not getting this message, means so you have given a wrong path here. Okay, so make sure you have to give a correct path. Okay, the spelling should be same. So if you got some issues, you are not getting this, means this file itself will be overridden. So what you, if you are not getting this message after this third statement means just terminate this entire thing, just do control C and again restart. Okay, so Firebase space init, start from there, just type Firebase init. So we have given this Firebase init, right? So then click yes, and you have to select your project. Okay, so select my, I have project, selected my project, and you have to specify the correct path again if you are not getting this previously. Okay, so now we are already getting file already exist override, so select no. We have to select no, guys. If you are selecting yes means, so it will override this index.html with default template. Okay, so we should say no. So once that is done, so we have initialized, so we have to see what is the next step. Click next. So what is the next step? Firebase deploy. So select Firebase deploy, so it will deploy this entire Angular code in the front end. Okay, so in this so it will provide a GitHub URL, a public URL, naming this e-commerce 5D32429. So this is our public URL. So your app will be deploying to this host name. Okay, so we'll see. So deployment completed, and your host name is this one. So just open this host. So I'm just opening that. You can also open from here as well. So click here. So it will open the application. Okay, if you see, so this is your public URL. Clear, guys? So this is how we will deploy Angular application. Okay, so no intervention of GitHub for Angular. Okay, just for your understanding, I have deployed I have uploaded the code to GitHub for Angular. For Node it is compulsory, so because in the render dashboard we are connecting that with Git repository, but here in Angular we don't have any use with this GitHub. We are not using GitHub repository, so you can directly skip this step as well. So while you are performing, okay, Angular deployments. So now if you see here, this is the application. If you see, we are getting the data as well, right? So let's see whether we are getting the data from public URL or not. So for that, right click and click on inspect. So scroll down. If you are not getting, scroll down and click on inspect. So it will open this file and go to this network. Okay, so after that, click on this fetch HXR. Okay, then reload this tab. Okay, so you will see, when you hover, you will see the public URL, okay, of your backend. This one. This is our render dashboard, right? So this is our URL, right? So you, so we have in the project starting, we have updated that URL here, right? If you are not updating this URL means you will get error. You have to run the Node.js project locally. Okay, so that's why we have first deployed our Node.js into cloud, then we have deployed our Angular project. So so that's why only we are able to access the data publicly. So this URL can be accessible from any PC in the world. Okay, this is how we will deploy Angular project in cloud in Firebase. Okay, so now we have in this session, so we have learned three things. One is how to deploy our local code to GitHub. Okay, and second one is how to deploy our Node.js code to public, to cloud. Okay, using render. And third one, so how to deploy our Angular application to Firebase. Okay, so click on continue and you will see the URLs here. With either of the URL you can able to access this website. Okay, so this is how we will be doing the deployments. And yeah, so if you have any doubts related to this workshop, or else the 3-day workshop we have done, and this video session, if you have any doubts, so please reach out to me. So you can reach out me through my email, or else my contact number I will share, or else you can go to my what we can say, to my profile, my GitHub profile. Okay, so if you go to my profile, you can able to github.com/pavananda.ch. If you go here, so you can see my contacts here. Okay, So you can reach me from LinkedIn, and or else you can directly go to my website and you can just post your query here. Okay, so you just give your name and your email and just type whatever the message query you have. So so it will directly send an reminder for me, or else you can directly contact me via my mobile number, which you can get from my email. Okay, so I will send this recording through email, right? So in that email itself I will provide my contact. You can reach out me from there as well. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys.